All right, I'm letting everyone in. The wait is over. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming again. We're so excited to have Hannah Jacobson from Book Award Pro back with us. And they are our gold sponsor this year for the Women in Publishing Summit, which is so exciting for you, Hannah. I'm so excited. This is a great time to be talking about all this stuff because I know indie authors are really excited to learn, and other authors too, about ways they can boost their visibility. And this is a really great way to do that. I think we were talking about that beforehand. So I'm going to just let the audience know a little bit about you. Okay, so Hannah Jacobson is the founder of Book Award Pro, the industry trusted platform for getting reviews and awards. The company operates the world's largest database of legitimate book accolades, serving thousands of authors globally every year. Hannah is also an expert advisor for the Alliance of Independent Authors, ALLY, and the Independent Book Publishers Association, IBPA. She is the recognized authority on literary accolades and prestigious book recognition. So welcome back. So exciting to see you. I wanted to let the audience know really quickly, though, the reason Alexa isn't here today is actually for a good reason and not a bad one for once. But she's actually doing the keynote for the University of Southern California for a group of business students and faculty. So she's there all day. And I am just so excited for her and everyone else. And yeah, I just will let you take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Amy. And as we can all kind of see in the chat, we're all super excited for Alexa. So, Alexa, we'll miss you today, but we will catch you on the replay. And hello again, everyone. My name is Hannah Jacobson, and I'm the founder of Book Award Pro. And I really hope you find this webinar useful in your publishing journey. Whether you're joining us on the replay or you're here today, thank you for your time. Before we jump in, I just kind of wanted to explain what was the inspiration behind this webinar. And the concept is Secrets of 1,000 Award-Winning Authors. And every year, Book Award Pro helps thousands of authors win book awards. So what I did is I took our last 1,000 award wins, analyzed the results, analyzed the data, and wanted to bring some of those learnings to you today in this webinar. And do know while I'm pulling up my slides here, that I will leave lots and lots of time for questions at the end. So as you have questions when we're going over some of these concepts, feel free to let me know because we will leave lots of time to get to your questions. So as Amy so thoughtfully introduced, Book Award Pro, we operate the world's largest database of legitimate reviews and awards. So everything in our system is completely vetted and researched by our team. And most authors are surprised to know there's not one or two book awards out there. There are thousands. So actually at Book Award Pro, we have more than 11,000 accolades in our system that are being actively monitored, researched, and growing all the time. We add new awards and new reviews to our system every day. We serve more than 8,000 books every single month. That's a lot of authors who've come to trust Book Award Pro over the years. And 2024 is not quite finished yet. But so far this year alone, we've helped our authors win more than 1,800 awards. And specific to that statistic, those 1,800 awards, those are from submissions that Book Award Pro performed for our authors. So when you sign up for our services, you have the chance to submit your own entries or have us do the work for you. Those 1,800 awards, those are only from submissions that Book Award Pro has performed for our authors. We're really proud to be a trusted resource in book publishing. Other organizations look to us for our sound, steady research on awards. And you may also be familiar with my work at Ally, where I'm the Awards and Story Marketing Advisor. And with Ally, we help provide information for all of their awards resources. So let's talk a little bit about how does Book Award Pro work? A lot of authors ask what that kind of looks like. And the truth is, getting accolades is kind of a tricky process. It's a little bit cumbersome, it can be time consuming. But at Book Award Pro, since the very beginning, I always wanted to make it a very streamlined, simpler process for authors to get awards, to get reviews. So authors use our services to find great awards and reviews for their books, actually enter their books for accolades, whether you do it yourself or you have us do it for you. For example, every month we can automate your entries for book awards, Amazon reviews, and even editorial reviews. We also help you with story marketing. We have a feature, it's a technology feature called story marketing, and we'll kind of come back to that later. But essentially, it's kind of a boost in the right direction as you find awards, win awards. What do you actually do with them? We have a feature in place to help you do that. And stay tuned to the end of this webinar because we'll be giving you a discount as being part of the Women in Publishing Summit community. We'll get you a free month of service. So I can tell you from years of running Book Award Pro, helping thousands of authors become award-winning authors, there are awards for your book. There are reviews for your book. No matter what you write, how you write it, when you wrote it, every genre, every format available, there are awards for your book. But what the tricky part is kind of sorting out what's a good fit for your book, what's relevant for your book, what could you actually submit to? Because there's a lot of teeny, teeny, tiny details that go into the accolade process. For example, if you publish your book this year, well, it may not be eligible for an award that is running 2 years from now or something like that. Just whatever the specific details of are, whatever, excuse me, let me roll that back. Book Award Pro takes into account this really special details about your book and matches you to the perfect accolades at the right time. So I really wanted to talk about how you can stand out from the crowd. What can we learn from so many award-winning authors? What can we learn from their successes? And the first thing that comes to mind for many authors, and that's also valid from our research, is that you need a really compelling story. And that's true whether you write fiction or nonfiction. What is the story you're trying to tell? What was the writing like? Does it really kind of showcase you as an author? So your story is really, really important. That's kind of the, I would say, the heart of the book. But it's also true to stand out from the crowd. You don't need just a great story, but you need a lot of professionalism that goes into your book. Our most successful authors are publishing very successful, very professional books, no matter whether you're indie published, self-published, traditionally published, no matter. What really, really stands out to judges is your story and a lot of professionalism. So a professional cover design, some of the elements that judges really look for and that are really standing out are very good, just kind of design, overall design. So good font. Does the cover kind of give a teaser into what kind of content may be in your book? Does it fit genre? Does it align with your genre expectations? You know, romance readers are looking for certain elements in that cover design. So pay attention to those things. Do the very best you can to have a very professional, enticing cover design. Interestingly, since we are on the subject of awards, you will see a lot of award-winning authors kind of infuse award-winning language or put award seals on their cover, and we will cover that more later. No pun intended on the cover. We are evaluating what judges look for. Good formatting in your book. You know, are your paragraphs aligned neatly? Do your chapters look good? What do your images look like? Paying really close attention to that and also getting really high quality editing for your book will make a difference, not only for readers, but also the judges kind of interpreting your work and checking to make sure that it really stands to professional standards. And last but not least, something that we see really successful authors doing is pursuing a variety of awards. And what does that look like? So, when you think of a book award, maybe you think of something broad like Best Book, and that certainly exists. But there are genre specific awards. So, Best Romance Book, Best Science Fiction Book, Best Nonfiction Business Book. There are thousands of different genres, all kinds of different genres that you can see in awards, and also look for other kinds of awards, awards for series, awards for maybe formats for your book, whether that's ebook, audiobook is very trendy right now. There are even awards for kind of your contribution to book publishing. So maybe you've published quite a few books over the year and you really feel that you have contributed to your genre, contributed to that area of publishing. There are even awards for that. So pursue those different kinds of accolades and showcase your work in different ways. So in this webinar, we're really going to focus on how to leverage awards. What are successful authors doing? So by the time you find awards, you find reviews, you also need to submit to them or have them submitted for you. And then you get some success, you get some traction. You have nominations that are kind of like pending entries that you've done. You also probably have some award progress. Maybe you're a finalist, maybe you're a winner. Um, there's all different kinds of designations and stages of the awards process to kind of work with. So let's talk about how we can actually use those awards once we get them. A lot of authors are almost surprised to learn that awards don't automatically work for you. You kind of use them as this marketing tool in your toolkit. And when you use them effectively, they can really open doors for you. And actually, right before this webinar started, Amy and I were having a great conversation about the kind of the magnitude of results that you can get from winning an award, from starting to share it, from actually putting it into your marketing materials. So when we see authors use awards, this is going to be very, very personal to you. It's going to be unique to what you want and what your book goals are. So first and foremost, all around the world, we see authors using awards to get credibility, to establish social proof. And what this means is professional authors win book awards. Professional authors have this level of very prestigious branding that they're putting into their work. And social proof, awards are social proof, much like reviews. They are an indication that other readers found your book worthwhile, that they wanted to, that they found your book worthwhile, and that it's worth sharing with other readers too. A lot of our authors actually use awards to get published. You may not know that you can actually win awards even prior to publication. So whether you have a fully unpublished manuscript, or maybe you're about 3 months before your book launch, you can start leveraging awards to get published. The one author I have in mind, she actually used awards as a way to get the attention of literary agents. So agents and even like publicists look for this too. But agents are really excited to see when an author is putting forth effort into trying to market their book. And so this one author actually chose to include every single award nomination. Every award she submitted to, she included in her query letter to show her agents or her prospective agents kind of a timeline of the marketing that she was doing and also the results. So this author actually won several awards. She was able to get the literary agent of her dreams, and she actually signed a traditional publishing deal. And that literary agent cited the awards, that her pursuing awards made the difference in the agent selecting this author as her client. Also, awards are hugely important in publicity and marketing. I was talking to one of my authors, her name's Carol, um, and Carol told me that from the time she started winning awards, she started infusing award winning into her professional bio and also her author bio. And what she would do is actually take not only her bio but some kind of pitch to podcasts, to local media outlets, and those outlets came back to her and actually told her that her submissions, her entries stood out to them because she's award winning. And so they were actually able to, on these podcasts and news segments, kind of talk about her award winning success, really strongly brand her as an author and get more attention from readers. And really similarly, awards can unlock career opportunities. So you may not even think of this. We'll kind of get more into this later. But being an award-winning author, that's interesting news to even people who are not in the book publishing industry. It's a way to get attention for your work. Also, book awards can unlock speaking opportunities. We have an author who actually uses awards as an opportunity to speak at keynote events and kind of fuel future conference events for herself. And in that way, she actually grew her speaking career. You can also use awards to bring attention to a cause. We see authors who kind of share news along the way about their work, and every time that you share something important about your work, you could actually choose, instead of, let's see, for example, instead of saying, look at my book, this is something wonderful that's happened, which is totally accurate, that's totally fine. You could do something instead to bring awareness for a children's hospital, for a cause that's really important to you. And of course, bringing awareness to other books that you may be writing. Every success that you have brings attention to your body of work and brings attention to future books that you may write and previous books that you've written. And of course, we actually see authors all the time using awards to expand their distribution in bookstores and libraries, and also expand their translation rights. You may see something, if you're familiar with these different platforms and different ways to get distribution and translation rights, that there's a concept called metadata, and they're often looking for what awards have you received. So let's talk a little bit, those are some different ways that our authors have chosen to use their awards. And maybe that inspires some goals of your own. What's important to you? What are your values? What do you want for your book? And there's the beauty of it is there's no right or wrong answer. It's just about what's right for you, what's right for your book and your work. So let's talk a little bit about fueling story marketing. What is story marketing? Story marketing is this concept of every time you have a moment to share with your audience. Maybe you received news, maybe you just became an award-winning author, or maybe you even just submitted for your first book award. That moment is interesting news that you can share with your audience. And in that moment, there's this inherent story that you're sharing with them. So that is the concept of story marketing, sharing these small stories with your audience over time and really creating this cohesive community. So as an author, you're a business owner, and I know we're going to talk about a lot of marketing opportunities today. And every bit of this marketing is part of your business role, part of, under your business hat of being an author. So use your award news to connect with your readers in an authentic way, and use the moment to just share some brief news. It doesn't have to be big or giant or overwhelming. It can be just a day, just a moment in the day of being an author, and your readers will really connect with that. And of course, social media can be a wonderful tool. You don't have to pay anything to be on social media, so that's why it can be a really easy outlet to be on. Um, so when you engage with a book award, let's kind of loop this back to specifically book awards. Um, every time you submit for an award, or every time you win, it's a moment to kind of engage on social media. And our most successful authors actually create quick posts. They tag the Accolade organization and they actually kind of, put some hashtags into their post. But in doing this, you actually create community with the award organization, and they are more likely to share your post to actually kind of amplify your message to their audience as well. In fact, one author shared with me recently that she shared, she won an award, she shared and tagged that award in her social posts. The award shared her post, and there were other authors paying attention to that, and they ended up having an author collaboration and had a kind of romance authors book sale to celebrate the event. So this is a really great way to kind of build some online community, meet new people, and a really easy way to keep your social media channels active in a really positive way. And of course, getting awareness in your local community is such a boon for your book. Awards, well, towns, whatever town you're living in, they love kind of a hometown hero. And award-winning news is always really, really important news. It's positive, it's impactful, and it's really professional. So you're more likely to land kind of media engagements, especially in your local community, when you have kind of award-winning steam behind you. So when you win an award, be sure to contact your local media outlets. So at first you may be thinking local news stations, and those are completely valid. Highly encourage you to get in touch with them, but also get in touch with your local newspaper. Look at local and even regional magazines. Kind of neighborhood magazines will do highlights on who their neighbors are, and those audiences are very, very targeted. They're wonderful to actually kind of dig deeper roots in your community and get your name out there. And interestingly, this when you're active with local media outlets, you may get offers for book signings as well. So when you, um, oops, one moment. Okay, I'm back. Um, Oh, so when you are really involved and active in your local community, you can do all kinds of book signings. Think of your libraries, coffee shops, of course, bookstores, even local gift shops are really, really excited to do local events with authors. Sometimes you might even meet other authors in your area if there's some kind of, you could do an award-winning author book signing at a local gift shop. We have seen our authors do that kind of thing. Of course, sharing the news with your family and friends. Some of your family and friends can be your closest allies who really want to share your work with other people. And of course, share your news with membership organizations. What groups, what organizations are you part of in your community, whether that's online or in person? So think of, professional organizations, hobby organizations. When you have some kind of news, typically these organizations want to hear about it. There may even be a dedicated page on their website, or you can just send them an email to let them know, kind of like a member bulletin. That's a really kind of a niche tip right there, but some of our authors have found really wild success in just letting their kind of like hobby organizations know and their professional organizations know that they've just become an award-winning author. I always like, sometimes it's a little bit magical. You never know exactly where these roads will lead. You never know exactly telling someone about this professional news for your book. You never know what kind of doors it will open and who you may meet. Of course, when you win an award, it's a great time to refresh your author branding. Especially new authors have told us that when they have the opportunity to refresh their branding, they feel more professional. It feels like it gives them more momentum and more establishes more credibility in the world of book publishing. So when you win an award, update your any kind of speaker bio that you have. Maybe even if you speak to local organizations or just kind of want to have a speaker bio on tap for when you start doing podcasts, that can be really, really a boon for you there. And of course, all your printed materials. So think business cards, any kind of brochures that you may have. Even kind of, Amy and I were just talking about this, but any kind of printed information, any printed displays that you share at events, putting your award seal, your award winning news, kind of incorporating that into those designs is really appealing for readers. It's really eye catching. One of my favorite places to put kind of award winning author is the email signature. I don't think that most people realize how many emails we send in a day. And again, you never know who will see your email. So by updating your email signature, coming across very professional, really levels up your author branding. Of course, all your professional profiles, that includes, social media, LinkedIn pages, but also anywhere, are you part of professional organizations, even part of writers groups, authors groups, anywhere that you kind of have a profile, update that. It can be a quick update, award-winning author, but it's always, always eye-catching. Of course, your website and sales pages, including Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, wherever you can, you're really looking to create a cohesive brand across all of your platforms, wherever you're seen. You want to be known as an award-winning author. It just kind of establishes an extra layer of credibility and professionalism to your brand. And of course, you definitely want to update your book design when you become an award-winning author. No matter how many awards you've won, whether it's 1 or 3 or 7, um, there's so many different ways to play with design, and this is so much up to your personal preferences and what you prefer for your book. Um, Consider putting the award seal somewhere on your cover. Even award-winning language, if you don't like the seal itself or you feel like it distracts from your design in some way, you could consider putting the award seal on the back cover or infusing award-winning language. So, maybe a byline on the front cover that says, from the award-winning author of, or the award-winning author, the award-winning novel. There's different ways to display that, and you can work with your book cover designer to kind of get some ideas for that. Of course, in the endorsements section of your book, some of our authors actually shared that they never thought to have an endorsement section before they started winning awards, before they started getting editorial reviews. And that's such a wonderful section to have in your book because it's a way to further establish credibility and social proof for your readers. Consider playing with your front cover, back cover, and also the spine of your book. A lot of times, whether your book is in a library or bookstores, your book may not always have a front-facing display. A lot of times, it may be lined up on a shelf. And very successful books that are, kind of pop off the shelf have maybe an award seal right on the spine. So before we kind of come up on our Q&A section, let's review some highlights. It's really important to keep in mind what your goals are for your book. What are your values? What do you want for your book? Because there's not a right or wrong way to do this. It's about what amplifies your brand and your message the most. So consider using awards to establish that professional credibility, gain trust with readers. Be sure to share every step of the awards process from the moment that you enter an award to the moment you're announced as a finalist. And maybe there are multiple stages of an award program. Maybe you become a winner. Share that news with your audience. Really build that community. Engage with your readers. Keep unlocking professional opportunities, update all of your materials. You never know where awards may lead you. We are so honored. Book Award Pro is a sponsor again this year for the Women in Publishing Summit. And we actually have a special offer for the community. So again, Book Award Pro makes it easy to find awards and reviews for your book. But for women in publishing, we want to give everyone a free month of our pro service. And with your pro service, you'll be able to find legitimate and awards and reviews that are fitting for your book. So it's not a random list, it is curated specific to the unique qualities of your book. In the pro plan, you can also see which awards and which reviews are the very best for your book out of all the opportunities out there, because there are thousands of them. We want to help you see what are the very best fits for your book. Of course, in the Pro Plan, you also unlock our story marketing feature, which makes it really, really easy to our system will automatically look and detect what your most recent award and review activity is, and it will generate a social post that you can automatically share with your audience. Interestingly, story marketing doesn't have to be on social media. You can also send, and our platform allows for this, also you could send a newsletter update to your audience. So if you prefer to kind of curate your mailing list instead of getting on social media, you can still fully use story marketing for that. And on the Pro plan, you also get additional matches for editorial reviews. So those are professional book industry reviews and special awards, things like book cover design, audiobook, series awards, those kinds of things. So again, my name is Hannah Jacobson. I'm the founder of Book Award Pro, and you can always get in touch with us anytime you have questions. I know we're arriving to our Q&A now, but if you have questions following this presentation, get in touch with us anytime. Our email is team, at bookawardpro.com, and go get your free month of pro service. You can either use this QR code or go directly to this link, and it will take you to your special offer. So Amy, that wraps things up for the presentation part of the webinar. Let's roll with some questions.
You got it, Hannah. There are many questions that came in. I just wanted to see really quick if anybody was curious about specifically how we can do the marketing part of the book covers. I'm not sure. Can you see my camera? I can't see myself all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, yo yeah, I can see your camera.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to show the audience just really quickly, just because this is working out really well for me, because I used Book Award Pro and ended up getting the gold seal from Literary Titan. And they are really amazing resource, because not only do they have an award system, but they also do editorial reviews. So along with the seal, they also gave me a really nice editorial review. And I don't know if anyone else has experience with those. They're really difficult to get editorial reviews. Like you really, it's like a months long sometimes process of getting them. And they were really amazing at being really open with all of their feelings towards the book. And the review is on, there's a line from the review at the bottom, there's the review on the back under the blurb, and then there's the seal on the front. And they use the seal in other kinds of marketing too. But I'm just using this as an example. It's not like a self-promo thing or anything. I'm just letting you know this is what you can do on your book with what Book Award Pro can do for us. So just wanted to put that out there, a little shout out for you.
Oh, Amy, and by the way, I think you really brought up an important thing here that I don't think that was
Yeah,
self-promoting at all. I think it's important that, in the author community, that we can actually come together and say, hey, this is what I did for my book. This is the process I went through. And this is kind of the end result. Even just seeing how you chose
definitely.
to display your award, your review, that's important for all of us to learn from. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm happy to, because I just want people to know that it's possible, to get those positive reviews, to get that award-winning status. You just have to use resources like Book Award Pro and put yourself out there, and it'll come back to you tenfold. It really will. But I'm going to get to your questions. I just want to make sure we have enough time for all of that. I just want to start, I guess, with Anna Taylor's question. She's asking specifically, is it better to focus on awards and contests, sorry, in a specific genre rather than just your generic big name award contests?
So Anna, that's an excellent question. Honestly, part of this can depend on what your personal preference is. From an accolades perspective, not necessarily. There's not necessarily a difference. You could choose to submit to an award, say, for example, that you write romance novels. You could choose to submit to a romance novel award that has different categories, different subgenres of romance, or you could submit to an award that kind of has a broad best romance, um, best romance category, and those would have equal footing, especially in the eyes of a reader. So keep in mind, what maybe your marketing goals are, but just know from a reader's perspective, it won't matter as much to them. Pursue the accolades that feel best for you. And let me know if you have any follow-up questions.
Perfect. Okay. Kim Gottlieb Walker has a couple of questions. I'm going to put them both together because they're related. But she has, I guess, historical romance, but she feels like it's a little bit different than the standard romance you would see. It does have a happy ending, but there are elements to it that sort of make it a little bit genre bent. She says specifically the hero and heroine are not together for most of the book because they meet too soon, and it's really more of a mainstream novel with a central love story. Romance readers might not consider it to be like I said, 100% romance, even though it meets the tropes of refinding first love and second chance and happily ever after. So she's not sure exactly how to place it when looking for awards. So I don't know if you had
Yeah.
advice.
For sure, Kim. That's an excellent question and something that so many authors have struggled with over the years. That's been really historically challenging. Historically challenging. At Book Award Pro, we actually saw that too. We saw the need for, well, my book isn't necessarily a romance novel. It's maybe more literary and historical with a touch of romance. And actually, within your Book Award Pro account, you can set, we call them priorities. You can kind of set for like primary and secondary categories, and our system takes that into account. So there are some awards that are, for their romance categories, maybe they actually are looking for your kind of book. But other awards aren't so open to it. Maybe they are looking, maybe it's a better fit for a literary category. Anyway, I share that because it depends on what the accolade is looking for, how you've set up your book profile, and if you do that, Book Award Pro will actually be able to shunt you to the correct award at the correct time. When you're kind of evaluating that independently, it can be tricky to know what exactly an award is looking for. Your book may be very valid for both, literary and romance. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. That's an excellent one.
Awesome. That was really great. Anna Taylor's asking, does when you win an award matter? And how long ago is too long ago to use that as social proof?
Excellent. No, it does not matter, Anna. We've had authors that, won an award even a few years ago and they didn't know how to share it. And they actually go back and at any time you can refresh your marketing materials. So once you are an award-winning author, you're an award-winning author forever. So take the time you need to kind of, if you have some winning success, take the time you need to develop your materials, put your seal on things, infuse your award-winning language. It's never too late to start using that in your marketing.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of follow-up questions on that from Anna. And you said some of this already, but once an unpublished work has won an award, what kind of promo can you do for that? And how often can you keep mentioning that it won an award?
And is it specific to unpublished works?
This specific question, yeah, it says
Yeah.
unpublished. Yep.
So the benefit of winning awards prior to publication is that it gives you kind of this lead time to launch to start growing, getting attention for your book, but also really growing and developing the community surrounding your book. So when we talk about marketing and sharing your news, sometimes I like to say you don't have to be a walking billboard to get recognition from your readers, to actually get their attention. The goal, the purpose, the intent of story marketing is really engaging with your audience, engaging with your community, because when you do that, you're essentially kind of using your award news as a way to share something interesting with your readers. So be careful not to overshare. I'm not sure exactly what you're thinking. Um, some authors actually share even once a week and get a lot of traction with their readers, but it really just depends on, the kind of community that you develop, the kind of community that you create, what they're interested in. And there's not a set rule for how to handle that. So I would encourage you to share your message, kind of play with it, and see what frequency serves your book. And once you're in
And
a
on that,
oh, go ahead.
that's okay, because she had more questions. On that note, specifically, you don't always have to even win the
Yes.
award, right? To share the results. And how does that work? Like providing the same kind of social credit, even though you didn't get like the top tier.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So Anna, there's different ways to handle this. What we call the nomination process is when your book is professionally submitted, when it's professionally entered for an award program. That means that it's actually being considered for the award itself, which most readers don't realize, most authors don't realize. But there's this professional process that goes behind the scenes. So from the moment that you enter your book for an award or that you have Book Award Pro enter it for you, you can begin sharing that news with your audience. Our story marketing feature actually covers that, but you could say, even just in a newsletter, social media, sharing with your readers that you've just submitted your book for an award and you're kind of nervous to hear results in a few months, but you'll keep them posted. Just a moment in time where you can share some news about your book, maybe how you're feeling, what your honest thoughts are about it, and that you'll keep your audience updated. That's kind of a quick recipe to how you can start sharing that news from a nomination perspective. We also see say that say that you don't win the award ultimately, that you don't win some kind of designation. We actually see authors be really successful with sharing with their audience they didn't win an award, but they highlight other authors and kind of recognize other authors and build their author network that way. So there's some really creative ways that you can develop your community that's not necessarily sharing award-winning news.
Fantastic. Apparently, I got a sale from that. Just kidding.
Congratulations, Kylie.
It's just funny. I just thought, just like a little funny aside, someone in the chat said they bought the book, so that's cool. Thank you
Perfect.
so much. Honestly, I'm just here to show you how to do this, and I'm thrilled. I want you all to start looking for awards and putting awards on your own books and getting sales, please.
Amy,
ASAP.
that's kind of perfect, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank
Kind of a
you.
perfect concept, though. I mean, you just
Yeah.
engaged just naturally engaged in
Mhm.
story marketing. You shared this kind of news about your book in an interesting, very thoughtful, engaging way. And you have a new reader that caught someone's attention. They want to be part of your community. So that's the real heart, the real spirit of story marketing.
Wow, I know it's so amazing. Appreciate it so much. I know that a lot of people are asking questions specifically about genre. And so I think maybe we should do like an overarching question answer period about people are asking about business books, children's books, if they have multiple books in different genres. So how specifically do you do that or handle that through Book
Yeah,
Award Pro?
absolutely. I can tell you that no matter what you write, how you write it, when you write it, there are awards for your book. So, fiction, nonfiction, children's books, romance, business, you name it, no matter what your genre is, even very niche things like maybe you write journals or puzzle books. No matter what you write, there are accolades out there for you. The real trick is trying to figure out what is out there and what's actually a good fit. With your free month of Pro, you'll actually be able to see those opportunities. So when you sign up for Book Award Pro, you'll tell us a little bit about your book. You can even, like we talked about priorities a few minutes ago, you can actually adjust your settings. So if you say, I write a little bit more. This is definitely a children's book, but also it's a little bit inspirational and there's a little bit of education in there too. Our system will take that into account and be able to show you what are the very best opportunities for your book. So rest assured, no matter what you write, there are absolutely awards out there for you. The trick is to figure out what is out there for you, and Book Award Pro can help you with that.
That's so awesome. Someone in the chat asked for the link to the offer. So I'm just going to put in the
Yeah,
chat really quickly.
thank you.
Our specific link that you can get on our sponsors page. It's up there too. Book Award Pro is near the very tippy top because they're a gold sponsor and you can find all their information there on the page. So there you
And
go, Karen. Okay, go ahead.
oh, no, 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 just to make sure, can you see the link on my screen as well? Just making sure that's displaying
I can
properly.
see it.
Okay. Thank you for asking, Karen. We hope you enjoy your month of pro.
We have it and it's the offers, it lasts as long as they usually do for is it for the entire year or is there a
Yeah.
specific cutoff?
Yep. That's exactly right. Just through next year. So if you're watching this, let us know if you're worried about timing, but it's available on the Women in Publishing Summit website, and you'll always be able to link directly from there.
Okay. Kim is asking, how soon before official release should someone submit for awards?
That's a great question, Kim. So we see just kind of a mix, but we generally recommend 3 months prior to publication. That can be difficult if you're self-publishing or independently publishing because there's not always, sometimes your timeline is very fluid and you may not be exactly sure what your pub date is. But generally speaking, if you start pursuing awards 3 months prior to publication, your book is generally finished. It's about 90% complete. You have a PDF book copy. It feels really professional. Your formatting's done, your editing's done. Um, with that 3 month window, the reason we recommend that is your book is very professional, is ready to start submitting to awards. But in that 3 month window, you have the chance to actually see what accolades are out there, submit to some, and have time to get feedback, time to get actual results prior to your book launching. So we see authors all the time with that recommendation. They start 3 months prior to publication. 3 months later, they are launching with even several awards sometimes, but they're award-winning authors. They have editorial reviews, and they even have Amazon reviews that are being published the day their book is being published. So I hope that's helpful. Just generally speaking, we would recommend about 3 months prior to publication for your best chances.
That's great advice. Perfect. So again, we have a few questions about surrounding branding and
Yeah,
using the award to brand yourself and how you can specifically brand yourself as an author who's won awards. So I don't know if you want to just give a little spiel about that to sort of answer all the different questions coming in about that.
Yeah, and I may actually stop my share and look at some of the specific questions coming in. But just broadly speaking, when we talk about author branding, awards are a really important way to kind of establish your credibility, establish your professionalism, and just if you go to a bookstore, walk around the library, it's easy to see authors who are treating their book brand professionally. Their books pop off the shelves. They just look professional. The cover design is neat. They're award-winning authors. They have editorial reviews. They're the books that you grab for. So when we talk about kind of growing your author brand, that's a little bit twofold. You know, positioning your brand so that it's very professional, getting awards, getting reviews, but also building and developing that community surrounding your book. So using your book news to create that community to really engage with your readers and keep growing that platform. And let me know if you have follow-up questions to that.
Are there best ways to use being a finalist? I think you did cover this a little bit, but can you talk a little bit more? I think for people to see like, oh, they didn't win, so they just don't mention it. So I don't know if you want to go over like how you can still use that in your branding.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is so fascinating. So at Book Award Pro, we work with authors all around the world. And I can actually tell you that different cultures treat awards very differently. And so the concept of a finalist, at least in the States, being a finalist, some authors think that they're not winners or that it doesn't count. That tends to be pretty uniquely American, which is an interesting thing. But take a step back for a moment. When you are announced as a finalist, that is an award-winning designation in that award program. So you should always feel proud to, display your, if you have a finalist seal, or if you don't, even just telling people you're a finalist for the blank award, that's still very profound, still very impactful. You should definitely, definitely use that. A lot of authors, even just psychologically, finalist is still, again, back to that award-winning designation. It helps you establish your brand. It's very prestigious, it's professional, it's what readers want to see.
Great, great answer. So a few questions are coming in. I just want maybe to have you address how the subscription program works. People are asking like, is it a monthly subscription? And do we pay for the awards when we submit to them? So can you just give a little bit of a rundown on that?
Yeah, great question. So everything at Book Award Pro, we try to make really, really streamlined and simple. So all of our pricing and our plans are always available directly on our website. You never have to like contact us for pricing. It's all there. So we kind of offer different plans, different price points, depending on what your needs, what your budget, what your goals are for your book. So we have three plans. You can cancel, sorry to answer your question directly. You can cancel anytime. Our plans are month to month. You can change your plan, you can change your configuration, cancel absolutely anytime directly from your account. Our different plans will give you different features, different ways that it makes it easier to find accolades for your book. And we also offer automatic entries done for you every month. That's an optional service, but automatic entries include awards, Amazon reviews, and editorial reviews. So if you're kind of having trouble navigating that process, some of our authors will join, for example, on the starter plan and get some submissions to awards, get some submissions to Amazon reviews and editorial reviews, and then downgrade their plan when they kind of feel like they've grown their momentum. So I hope that answers your question. If you have something more specific, let me know. But you can always find all of our pricing on the website. And also, for being part of this community, I highly encourage you to go get your free month of Pro and you can cancel anytime. Or, after your month of pro is complete, just downgrade to the starter plan. The starter plan is absolutely free, and you can see what awards, what reviews are out there for you.
Yeah, that's perfect advice because I know specifically for me, I get an email probably every week that shows me places to submit. And then I go through and do it. It is a little bit more arduous to do it that way. I'm not going to lie, but I go to each one that I'm suggested and then I look at, what their requirements are and all of that. And then I make my decision going forward. But I think you have the pro curates that for you, right? And can do this submission process for you.
Um,
So we
Yeah,
definitely
so
look into
Amy,
that.
I'm glad you said that because you clarified, yes, anytime you can choose to do your own submissions, or you can have Book Award Pro do it for you. But either way, our services will kind of just support your goals.
Thank you so much. We did have a couple more questions coming in, so I didn't know if you wanted to get to them
This
really
is
quickly.
great.
So people are asking obviously about different genres again. Genre is just like a really big thing with marketing right now. So I get it. It's in front of everyone's mind. But someone's asking, is it best to use different pen names for different genres or just use one pen name for all? And any way you want to address that.
Interestingly, from an accolades perspective, it doesn't matter. But when you are configuring your Book Award Pro account, you'll actually be able to, have a different author profile associated with a different book. So you can have all the pen names that you like associated with all the books that you like.
Awesome. And then let's talk a little bit more about legitimacy, I guess, because that's always everyone's always thinking like, oh, what does this mean? Like, I don't want to say I'm an award winner if I'm just a finalist. Like, how specifically can we make sure that like what we're doing and what we're saying legitimizes us as an award-winning author?
If you ever have a specific question about the award that you won, you can always clarify with the award organization. I can't name off the top of my head an award that actually says you're a finalist, but you can't announce that as award winning. Um, get in touch with the award organization. You can always be very specific and say that if award winning doesn't sound right to you, go with, finalist for the award. That's really, really important information. The most important takeaway there is to not don't stress out about exactly how you'll say it. Infuse that language into your marketing materials, whatever that looks like. And if you have more specific questions on what that looks like, we can help as well. But any specific questions, we also encourage you to get in touch with the Accolade organization itself.
Perfect. And then we have a very specific question from a publisher asking, can they set up a publisher account and submit on behalf of their authors?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I can go pull that link and put it in the chat, but we have what we call the partner program. And a lot of publishers and publicists actually use our services to kind of make things happen for their authors, to kind of get them going. So I'll put that link in the chat, but it's also available on our website anytime.
Awesome. And we had
You guys
another
ask great
question.
questions.
So what's the best way to use comments from a judge? Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'd love to know that.
Ooh, comments from a judge. One second. Interesting. So, oh, that's a great question. I love this community. It depends. It depends on how, what feedback did you get? So are you trying to incorporate it into your work and improve the next version of your book? Or are you trying to actually share that feedback with your audience? I'm not exactly sure which way to go with that question, but um, if you want to share your judging feedback with your readers, that's really cool. I'm an avid reader, and I always love when authors share kind of those snippets of their day, because it shows you're a real person too, and you go through like this immense process to put a book into the world. That's just magic. So feel free to share that with your audience.
If they enjoyed the book, like if they said something positive, could
Yeah.
could you quote them
Hmm.
like you would a review, or how does that work?
So it would depend. In that scenario, I would get in touch directly with the award and see if that would be appropriate. Because some organizations want to keep their judging panels private, or they don't want you to, share it in a certain way, like it's not an Amazon review. But get in touch with the award organization. Most of the time, they will be happy that you found that feedback helpful and that you were excited about it, and they will probably want you to share it.
Awesome. I think that's it for questions, but we're so excited. There's so many people are saying thank you. It's very cloudy in Philly right now, sorry. But but everyone is saying thank you in the chat and they really enjoyed all the information that you've given us. And as I can attest, it's been very a wonderful service, very helpful to me. It's definitely leveled me up a bit as an indie author. So definitely like try it out and um I'm just excited. Anybody who has questions for Hannah, you can get directly in touch with her specifically if they want. Do you want to have people email you questions or
Yes,
how do you
I
want to
see
handle
one
that?
last question. I'm
Oh, is
sorry,
there one more? It got
Dr.
bumped up so bad.
Well, sorry, Dr. Trina, I missed that part of your question. I'm sorry about that. Yes, it does cost to enter awards, whether you're doing it independently or having us do it for you. The average price, the average entry fee for a book award is $89. But the range is all over the place, from free to upwards of $500. When Book Award Pro performs a submission for you, it's $199. And of course, if anyone has questions after this webinar, email us anytime. That email address is team@bookawardpro.com. You can always just find us on our website and you'll be able to send us an email there. But we're here to help you. And thank you so much for being part of this community, for joining me here today. And I really wish you the best in your accolades journey.
Wonderful. I put that email address in the chat so people can snag it. But thanks again so much, Hannah. We look forward to seeing you this year at the summit and running into you in the different sessions and everything and talking to you throughout the year. Thanks
I
again so
can't wait.
much.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.